Welcome back to Wonders of Our Planet. Today, we're talking about the thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger. You've probably seen the footage. A striped animal that looks like a dog, pacing a small concrete enclosure. It stops. It yawns and opens its jaw so wide it seems almost broken. That's the last film ever made of a living thylacine. A few months after that footage was shot, the only known specimen left on Earth died at the Hobart Zoo in Tasmania, left outside on a cold night because someone forgot to lock him into the heated shelter. The Australian government had added the thylacine to its protected species list just 2 months earlier. It was 59 days too late. The species wasn't officially declared extinct until 1986, 50 years after the last one died. Killed twice, first by bounty hunters, then by paperwork. Today, a Dallas-based company called Colossal Biosciences says it plans to bring the thylacine back from extinction. What exactly was this animal? And is a comeback even possible? Let's find out. The scientific name is thylacine cynocephalus, Greek for pouched dog with a vol's head. Despite the name Tasmanian tiger, this animal was a marsupial, more closely related to a kangaroo than to any wolf, tiger, or dog. The stripes were a coincidence, the result of what biologists call convergent evolution. Over millions of years of isolation on the Australian continent, marsupials independently developed body forms nearly identical to the placental predators of the northern hemisphere. The thylacine filled the ecological niche of a wolf, and ended up looking like one, even though their common ancestor predates the dinosaurs. Females carried their young in a backward-opening pouch, unlike kangaroos, where the pouch opens forward. The thylacine once ranged across all of Australia and New Guinea, but around 2,000 years ago, it was pushed off the mainland by dingoes, feral dogs introduced by humans. Tasmania was the last refuge because dingoes never made it across the water. When British settlers arrived in Tasmania in the 19th century, a few thousand thylacines were still there. The colonists brought sheep, and almost immediately, the thylacine was blamed for killing livestock. Modern analysis of preserved stomach contents tells a different story. These animals were hunting small prey like wallabies, birds, and possibly carrion. Their jaws simply weren't strong enough to take down a full-grown sheep. But facts didn't matter. In 1888, the Tasmanian government introduced a bounty. £1 per adult thylacine, 10 shillings per pup. Over the next 20 years, more than 2,000 bounties were paid. When the program ended in 1909, the species was already nearly gone. The last known wild thylacine was reportedly shot in 1930. 3 years later, a single live animal was captured and sold to the Hobart Zoo. The thylacine was a medium-sized predator, roughly 40 pounds, about 4 feet from nose to the base of its tail. Its most striking feature was its jaw, which could open to nearly 120 degrees, far wider than any dog. 13 to 21 dark brown stripes crossed a yellow-tan back. The tail was thick and rigid at the base, like a kangaroo's, a clear sign of its marsupial origins. At high speeds, it could shift into a bipedal bounding gait, a kangaroo-style hop, something captured in the zoo footage. Its voice was described as a quiet, coughing bark. In captivity, it never reproduced. 6 breeding pairs were kept in various zoos over the years. Not a single offspring. By the time anyone realized hunting had gone too far, there was nothing left to replace the wild population. On September 7, 1936, the last known thylacine died at the Hobart Zoo. A male that keepers had nicknamed Benjamin. He died of exposure on a cold Tasmanian night. In the archives of the Smithsonian's National Zoo in Washington, D.C., there are letters from American zoos dating back to the 1920s, purchase requests for live thylacines, sent when maybe a few hundred still existed in the wild. None of those orders were ever fulfilled in time. Since 1936, hundreds of people have reported sightings of thylacines in the Tasmanian wilderness. Not one has ever been confirmed. In 1986, the International Union for Conservation of Nature officially declared the species extinct. Then, in 2022, Colossal Biosciences, the same company working on the woolly mammoth revival, announced a thylacine project. Led by Professor Andrew Pask at the University of Melbourne, the team has sequenced the thylacine genome from preserved museum specimens. The plan is to use CRISPR gene editing to splice thylacine traits into cells from the northern quoll Dasyurus haliacatus, a small carnivorous marsupial and the thylacine's closest living relative. First results are promised sometime in the 2030s. The project has ignited fierce debate. First question: can you rebuild an animal from a genome? when you know nothing about its behavior. The thylacine was a solitary hunter with unknown social structures, unknown migration routes, unknown hunting strategies. A genome is an instruction manual, not a memory. Second, where would a revived thylacine even go? Tasmania's ecosystem has shifted over 90 years. The niche the thylacine once filled is now partly occupied by the Tasmanian devil Sarcophilus heresy, which is itself under threat from a contagious facial cancer. Third, and most pointed, wouldn't that money do more good protecting species that are still alive right now? The budget spent sequencing the thylacine genome could fund active conservation for dozens of animals facing extinction today. Every one of these arguments is serious. None of them is the final word. The thylacine teaches us that extinction is not a natural disaster. It is an administrative decision. This animal wasn't killed by a plague or a shifting climate. It was killed by signed forms on a government desk and a £1 bounty. Then it was killed a second time, 50 years of bureaucratic silence while the species sat on lists marked possibly surviving and no alarm was ever raised. Colossal Biosciences is trying to rewrite that ending. Whether they succeed, we'll find out in the 2030s. But even now, the lesson is clear. The extinction technology doesn't erase the debt of what we destroyed. It only offers a second chance we've already wasted once. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and subscribe. That's what keeps these videos coming. Thanks for watching Wonders of Our Planet.